I was elated. I wasn't ready to retire from wrestling, but if this is what I get, the Hall of Fame induction, it's more important to me than actually wrestling after this. So I prefer the Hall of Fame induction over anything else.
When it comes to the legacy of Kurt Angle, after 11 years, there's a whole new generation of WWE fans who might not be familiar with what Kurt Angle has accomplished. What does it mean to you to be able to add on to that legacy?
I don't want to be the guy that fans say that, if that guy would have stayed out of trouble, he would be the greatest of all time. It's good to be back home, and regardless of what I do, I can mark my legacy as the greatest of all time.
I know our WWE cameras recently caught up with you during your meeting with Vince McMahon for the first time in 11 years. What did that feel like?
I didn't know what to expect. I thought he'd want to punch me in the face first thing, first time he saw me, but he was willing to say, let's forgive and forget, let's move on. When he saw me, he immediately hugged me. It was like that father welcoming his son back home and saying, it's good to have you back home.
We had, say what? A whole lot of superstars on this stage here tonight. But I want y'all to know one thing. This is my house. And when I say who's house.
Word attack skills and vocabulary too. All the hits in the edition is all brand new. You're through. I'm interplanetary and like Doctor Who. So who?
Fuck your beef, no relief. I step on stage, girls scream like I'm Keith.
Everybody, it is Ring Time Pro Wrestling. Can you feel the power? Can you feel the magnitude of what's about to go down? It is Wrestlemania weekend. The weekend's so heavy. Not only are we doing 2 shows this week, we're doing them on back-to-back nights. So guess what? You're getting the first heat tonight. It's Thursday. If you live in Atlanta, you can't watch your favorite Thursday night TV shows because shit's fucked up on 85. But you know what? The news can't interrupt us. So here we are. Keisha in the building. Keisha, say hi to the people.
Did you really, Keith? I mean, really? Here we are, for real? Because we couldn't be interrupted. I mean, we really could have been interrupted, but we're not. Like, I'm glad that we are free to do this show with y'all today, but just the shit that's going on in Atlanta is really fucked up, okay? Like, when you have an interstate collapse, like, I'm part of an interstate collapse, like, one of, the busiest, yeah, it's gonna be a lot of shit going on. I mean, it's more than just it being a hole in a bridge in the middle of an interstate. Like, it is way more than that. But you know what? I'm not going to get into all that because that's not what we're here for. Not as a kid.
Oh, I mean, we're here for it. But just let you know, I'm just saying, the person who pay the bills on this show ain't going to interrupt the show to talk about nothing else. I mean, unless I get a call live during the show and it's the Undertaker or something. That's the only way I'm interrupting anything that's happening in this show. And I don't think Mark Callis got time to call me right now. So let's get into, the wrestling of this week. Well, here's the thing. We're going to do a little bit special. I don't know if y'all going to hear a lot of recaps from us. Today, you're not hearing any recap. Today, we are talking all about the WWE Hall of Fame. It is going to be a magical time in the city. We're going to talk about the inductees, some of our favorite memories of the particular inductees this year. And you know me. I got to talk about that guy, Rick Rude, when we do this. But then we're going to get you the news and notes, the things that have been popping this week. We didn't do a show last week because we were both hideously tired and worked way too hard. So it was approved by the council that we could take the week off. And we were like, cool, because if we didn't, you might have gotten a less than stellar show. But I think this week everybody's refreshed and ready to go. Like I said, 2 shows this week. So we're kind of catching you back up, right? Then
right.
We hit it hard tomorrow. Tomorrow is all WrestleMania. Just strictly out by itself. That way, look, man, not only will you get some extra content this week, which you can hold on like a an extra piece of chicken or something, and when you get hungry later, you can pull it out. We there for you. I would advise take in all this hot content. This is the biggest 2-part show since Dave Chappelle. I'm just saying. It's going down. So without further ado, Keish. Welcome to the Hall of Fame, right?
Right.
Welcome to the Hall of Fame. Oh, sorry. We're going to go down this lineup, which I think is one of the better lineups that they've had the last few years, right? Like, I think that's safe to say. Kurt Angle, is the headliner. And I don't know if there's been better headliners in a long time since one Kurt Angle. But, yeah, the guy is coming in. But, I don't even understand.
It's Kurt Angle. Who wouldn't be excited about that? It's Kurt Angle. It's true. It's damn true. Like, come on, man. It's Kurt Angle.
Right.
Like, I keep saying it like, it's never going to lose his lust. It's Kurt Angle. It's Kurt freaking Angle. Come on, people.
Right.
So, if you can't be excited about that, I'm pretty sure you're not even going to be excited about it. So,
yeah. Hope they let him live. Hope they don't start chanting "You suck." He'll take that as a sign of affection, right?
All right.
But let's go through. He's being inducted by John Cena, which I think is a very, very good choice for the induction. Like when they started going down the line of people, right? I thought Chris Jericho could have been somebody that was good to do it. Triple H would have actually been pretty good, or Stephanie McMahon. But I think if we're going down the line of his career, John Cena is very important because he is the guy who kicks off John Cena's WWE career, which helps create the transition to the WWE that we have today, right?
Right.
Because that ruthless aggression moment is still classic. And he goes toe to toe, and he gives John Cena gives him that match, and what we saw was the establishment of the guy. Because then everybody go back to the locker room, he's shaking hands, even the Undertaker shakes his hand. It's like, oh, this guy's a made man.
Right.
So that's all Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle is the greatest amateur wrestler to transition into the pro wrestling world. Danny Hodge is a second, but Kurt Angle is clearly the greatest. And I say that because, look, other people have tried. Now, Olympic gold medalist, no, Kurt's the first. Other people have tried. And there's been some good ones, don't get me wrong. Shelton Benjamin, hell of a transition. Rick and Scott Steiner, Hall of Fame worthy transition. Charlie Haas, Brock Lesnar. But for the most part, Kurt is the ultimate guy. Because, if you put Kurt Angle in your top 5 of all time, I couldn't tell you you're wrong. And that's just top 5, period. That guy, the wrestling and the in-ring talent, a lot of people don't. The reason amateur wrestlers struggle with pro wrestling is because there's a gimmick to pro wrestling. So Kurt has worked his whole life to do one thing: never get put on your back for no reason whatsoever.
Right.
He's a high school All-American. I think he was a college All-American, college national champion. He won at every level. I'm assuming guys that good, and I've seen guys very, very good in that realm. I bet you nobody ever put him on his back in high school, right? Nobody. So when you come into pro wrestling, you have to be willing to give because you got to do part of the show. Most of those guys can't handle that. Kurt adapted. He learned the moves. He learned how to work that ring. Because, I mean, it's a completely different skill set. He learned it all very quick. Like, you got to remember, him coming in, 96 is when he was the gold medal. 99 is when he makes his WWE debut, right? Main roster debut, 99. He's world champ by the end of the year.
Right.
I don't think there's anybody who had more of a natural ascension to the top either than Kurt Angle. So, like I said, this guy, who has he not been in a ring with? Rock, Austin. Like, he goes from the Attitude Era, then he transitions it to the New School Era, where now it's Jericho and Benoit and Eddie Guerrero and those guys at the top. Then Cena, Randy Orton, he transitions with those guys. You know what I mean? Like, he's there for a while. And then in 2006, he leaves. He put TNA, I think, on the map. All right?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
There are about 2 to 3 crucial signings that made us really believe that TNA was ready to compete with the big boys. Right? Sting.
This is true.
Sting really gave them something. Then it's Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle elevated that. One thing was, he came there voluntarily after leaving WWE in 2006. Because he could have stayed in WWE. Him and Vince didn't get along. They had some issues with some things. And Kurt talks about it. But for the most part, he didn't have to leave. You know what I mean? They could have figured out a way to work it out. They just didn't. He went to TNA at a time where only other guy, I remember Christian came to TNA voluntarily, right? But before that, that was it, and that was like the biggest star that they had ever gotten voluntarily. And what I mean by voluntarily, like Jeff Hardy had came there in like 2005 or something like that for a little bit, had a cup of coffee there. But you know why he was there? Because WWE wasn't messing with him because of the drugs. When Road Dogg and Jesse James and Badass Billy Gunn was there as VKM, which, man, they was doing some funny promos. Hey, WWE wasn't messing with them. And that was the thing. When R-Truth was there, a lot of guys, WWF wasn't messing with them at the time. So they went and got work at TNA. And TNA would make them champs and go ahead and fast track them because they was ex-WWE guys. And I mean, they did that for the rest of they still do it, right?
Right.
But when Kurt came and they started running them Kurt Angle promos, it was like, oh, these boys ready to play. And Spike TV really stepped up and really pushed that. And then when he came in his first day in TNA, when he goes head to head with Samoa Joe, that did a lot for him and Samoa Joe. So, yeah, without further, I can't wait for Kurt. Like I said, Kurt's going to be the headliner, right?
Right.
Then, my guy, Jim freaking Cornette, is going to induct the Rock and Roll Express. So, 2 things, Keish. Hell has froze over.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and start buying lottery tickets because anything is possible.
Oh, Lord.
If you listen to the Cornette Experience and you listen to Jim and some of the things he said about the WWE, some of the things he said about Vince, some of the things he said about Triple H, and just, hey, man, you just feel like they don't like him. And the way he feels about today's wrestling, all these things factor into like, wow, they called Cornette to do the induction? But also, this may be the first step into Jim Cornette and the Midnight Express going into the Hall of Fame. Keish, that's real. That's what I'm talking about. Because here, my thing is, I don't really separate the Midnight Rock and Roll.
Right.
And mind you, both of them have had successful feuds with other teams. But when I talk about those two teams, I talk about them together because they are inexplicably linked.
How can you not?
Right. So, whether you grew up and you started watching when it was Dennis Condrey and Bobby Eaton versus Ricky and Robert, or you remember Stan Lane and Bobby Eaton taking down Ricky and Robert. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Whether you started watching in Mid-South, whether you started watching in WCW, it don't really matter. These guys have, like I said, are inexplicably linked. And it's good to see. Like I said, I think Cornette's going to be entertaining as ever. I think it would be cool if possibly, but this is the Hall of Fame. They can't do that. Because they're going to keep it dignified. But man, if like the Midnight Express came out with like it jumped them from behind, and like, yo, this shit ain't ever over. that would be a mark out moment. We're going down the line here. Teddy Long, Keish.
Teddy Long.
Player.
I need to induct Teddy Long.
Teddy's going. Teddy left about yesterday, so he's already down there right now, kicking it with his son. Cool guy, very accessible here in the Atlanta area. You can always bump into Teddy when he's not on the road doing indie spots right now. Apparently, I know the gym it's smarter to work out at, so I kind of, we've talked about this, and I don't really talk about the gym, but Stevie Richards, Scott Hall, Teddy Long being there sometime. So, and with everybody, I haven't, Teddy knows because me and him are follow each other on various social media platforms. But the other guys don't know what I do because I don't, right. When I see him, I always have genuine conversations, so I don't want to be like, hey man, can you come do my podcast? I don't know how corny that seems. And it may not be.
Corny? I was about to say corny? Never. Hey, man, sometimes you got to shoot your shot,
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
No, you got a point. But let's talk Teddy, Keish. Because you go give your perspective, and I'm going to give you the OG stuff, the old people stuff.
Okay, so, Keith, you're talking to somebody who, when I first heard the name Teddy Long, Teddy was in a referee's uniform and was getting randomly beat up in matches. It was Attitude Era when they was just body slamming, choke slamming, just tossing around referees like they was one of the jobbers or something.
Yeah, referees, EMTs, security people, male people. It didn't really matter.
Fans, they didn't care. They was just like, hey, today we're gonna put some random person through a table or something. That was just the thing to do. But anyway, so that's how I was first introduced to Teddy Long. Now, I found out later on that Teddy was a manager, and he did way more than what I had seen. So I was like, oh man. But when Teddy became general manager of SmackDown, Teddy was that dude, okay? Like, Teddy Long, I felt like at that moment, they took him as a person, put him in front of the camera's eye, and really started to show, like, hey, this is how we recognize the person that you once were. It's like, I don't know, maybe I'm reaching a little bit, maybe I'm not. But all I'm saying is, it was different for him. And I personally love Teddy. Like, people couldn't stand him. Oh, this is ridiculous. What is this? I love Teddy Long. I ain't care what to say. Because that man there had done so much in his career at that point. you know. And it was crazy because once I found out about his past, I was like, well, hell, what the is he doing refereeing? Like, who the hell decided to put him in a goddamn referee shirt, you know? I was like, he could be out here managing and something like that. When he decided to take your side, it was magic, you know? Teddy Long, people. I mean, how can you not love Teddy? His personality was, to me, was, it wasn't explosive. It was more so it was unique in itself because that was something that couldn't be duplicated. He brought something to the table that could not be duplicated. And that's why I applaud Teddy. And I feel like this spot in the Hall of Fame is well deserved. So that's my take on Teddy Long.
Well, see,
and I swear to you, if JBL even thinks about continuing to destroy his legacy, one more good time with that holla saying holla holla, I swear I'm find somebody to choke him. I can't do it. Like, oh my God, just stop it. Don't even do it. Just don't do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a little bit of background for Teddy. I came from more familiar with Teddy as a ref myself, but my familiarity with Teddy was ref on the old WCW Jim Crockett shows that used to come on Saturdays, right? So that was him as the ref. Now, he had been working there before that, but just kind of like as a guy who used to, you know, part of the ring crew, right? Then one day, man, dude was a manager. And one of my favorites, Keish, he managed the Skyscrapers. I'm talking Dangerous Dan Spivey, Mean Mark Callis, who you now know as The Undertaker.
That's right.
When Undertaker moved over the Skyscrapers, it was Sid Vicious that took his spot. Always at war with Paul Ellering and the Road Warriors. Always at war with the Steiners. Then he brought in Doom, Ron Simmons, and Butch Reed. And this is after the Mask Doom. Well, no, I think he even had Mask Doom too. Keish, they were so cold.
Right.
And when you're a little kid, and a young black kid, you don't get a lot of wrestling role models. Butch Reed, former football player. Ron Simmons, former football player. Former All-American at Florida State. These dudes was cold. And they was always down to fight. I think they had the longest single reign in WCW as tag team champions ever. It was just, and then having a black manager who could talk that talk. Teddy, one thing about Teddy could talk. Now, some of the player, holla, pretty lame, but that was like later WWE stuff. You listen to the stuff he was put down as a manager when he was managing Doom and them. Oh, bro. Guy's career. Teddy's a wrestling lifer. Like, we're talking about a 30-plus year career when you're talking about somebody like Teddy Long. He managed a lot of different guys at WCW late. When he came to WWE, he even tried to manage a little bit again. Then he just found his stride with the GM thing. And what's your signature, Teddy Long? All right. I see we got a little action down there in the ring. So you know what, players? We gonna have a tag match. That's what was going down. And if you saw like 4 or 5 people going at it in the ring, it was like, yo, I know what's about to happen. Main event tonight. It's gonna be Edge and Kurt Angle versus The Undertaker and Batista. Holla, players. And that's just what signature Teddy. So I gotta enjoy it, and I'm happy for it, man. I'm really happy for it. Now, as we move down the list of the Hall of Fame, Keish.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta cue up a promo.
Of course you do.
I mean, what kind of person would I be? Why would I have all this technology, Keish? Why? Why would I have it if I couldn't cue up a promo from the fabulous, ravishing Rick Rude? I mean, this dude used to come down to the ring in WWF and insult everybody in front of, like, yo, man, look, your physique is shitty. Like, right now, I'm a little sensitive because I'm fat. And then, like, Rude would have came and said, hey, man, you fat Georgia sweat hog, why don't you be quiet while I take off my robe and show you a woman what a real man looks like. Like, that was Rick Rude. Matter of fact, I think I have an example.
New Jersey, weighing 230 pounds, Mike Hokari. And his opponent.
You know
that music. That music.
Well, one of my favorite
that's his name as a person.
Certainly thinks that he has it all covered as well.
That
He has it all covered
okay,
upside in.
so here's the thing that I had you to understand about Rick Rude was like I thought he was awesome when it came to the ring, but personality-wise, like, people just was like, no. They didn't want to deal with them. Kind of like,
Yeah.
That's what I got an understanding of. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to be incorrect in what I'm saying. Like, It was just, I don't know, like, it's the things that I had read from time to time about, like, his ass. Because, of course, like, I knew Rick Rude, but I didn't know, like, Rick Rude like I do other wrestlers. So for me, it was one of those, this is one of those moments where I have to rely on, like, videos and, like, retro stuff to really get to know who Rick Rude, like, was as, like, personality, wrestler-wise, and everything else.
Yeah, this was easy. Rick actually, for the most part, was not bad to deal with. Was very beloved by a lot of the guys backstage. Now, he's worked with some people that was hard to deal with. Him and the Ultimate Warrior notoriously had some heat, because he was like, and Rude had the patience of Job with Warrior, because Warrior used to do some crazy shit, and Rude, he was used to dealing with more professionals. You gotta remember, this guy, early on, they tried to put it all on his back. Like, in World Class, they was like, yo, as we break away from the NWA and we gonna have our own champ, like, Kerry Von Erich really wasn't ready at the time. It was like, yo, you. Not even a Von Erich. Hey, you. Let's try. So, yeah, I mean, they would try to go there. I don't. It's one thing I'm amazed that he never got his world title shot in WWE. WCW gave it to him, because he kind of is in that gray area where they transitioned out to NWA and the WCW, and Flair has left the company. Rude helps carry that stretch, right? Him, Sting, Luger, or whatever, they help carry that stretch. But I'm surprised the WWF never gave him that shot. Like, they gave him the IC title shot, but they never gave him that world title shot. Well, he might have had a title shot against, like, Hogan that, took place at, like, the Cow Palace or something, but never, like, a serious long feud where it's like we going for it. Now, remember I was talking about how he insulted people and stuff like that. Same guy who may or may not, or in a feud with Jake the Snake, had a picture of Cheryl Roberts, Jake's wife, on his tights around his buttocks. Yeah. Of course, that prompted Jake to strip the man damn near naked on television. But, things happen. Things happen.
Yeah, you're right about that.
But, yeah.
Well, some things on purpose, some not.
Yeah, I didn't know how far that was supposed to go on Saturday morning television.
As far as they wanted it to go. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But
as far as they could take it.
Yeah. Jake Rude had lost a lot of stuff with injuries though, man. Like that back injury really messed him up, and that's where when you saw him in the Attitude Era when he was the insurance policy and he just walked around in suit, it was just kind of, but after that, man, that the guy he faded out from the scene. So next, Keish, this is more of your era, and I can give you some with this. The Glamazon, Beth Phoenix. Thoughts?
Beth Phoenix. Of course, I got to get excited about the woman, right? Like, come on, man. It's Beth Phoenix. The Glamazon. Definitely. Now, okay, so I want to comment about, first let's start with who's inducting her, and that would be no other than Natalya, which I can understand that. I definitely can respect it, and I'm glad it is her that will be inducted Beth Phoenix. Let's see. Beth, to me, was a woman that didn't fit her era. And I say that because Beth had wrestling abilities to me that were outside of the scope of what they were trying to do at the time in which she was with WWE. Like, I felt that Beth would have been a better fit for what's going on right now. But, of course, you got to play with the cards you dealt. So she did an incredible job. Like, I mean, amazing. And for her to have gone on to do things like enter the Royal Rumble, which people forget that she's done. For her to I think she was the second woman in history to enter the Royal Rumble. She would, of course, if it was allowed, and there's the words I'm looking for, she would have went like toe to toe with men. Like, she definitely had God, what is the word I'm looking for? She definitely was set differently. She was made differently than the other women. I mean, like, I always said that, like, her and Natalya were, like, two, not the only two, but two women that definitely were a little different than the other women that they were dealing with. And that's because of the simple fact that they were, that their wrestling abilities in themselves set them aside from everybody else. Now, when it came to the promos and it came to, backstage action and all that kind of stuff, things started to kind of blend. But when it came to that ring, Beth had it. And I personally think that she definitely should have had more of a chance to, I think she should have held the title longer at times. She should have been able to have the room to lead, in a sense. There were things that I personally thought were awesome about her career, and things that I kind of just was like, it was questionable, but she made it work. And I think that's one thing that, as a wrestler in this business, like, you definitely have to do. You have to make it work. So, all of my applause goes to Beth for for all of her accomplishments while she was there. Like, to me, I actually like Beth Phoenix. Like, a lot of people I know didn't. They couldn't stand her, but I'm like, I don't understand how. You know what I'm saying? I really don't understand how. She was awesome. Like, I personally believe, like, this spot for her is well deserved. And nobody's going to make me feel different. I'm sorry. Like, it's just not going to happen. So that's my take on Beth Phoenix. I definitely, it's funny because I find myself at times randomly watching some of her old matches and stuff because she was just to me, that awesome. Like, even though it was at a time where, to me, she was kind of an outcast in a good sense of the word. Like, she was definitely set aside from the other women, but that's what made her so awesome. That's what made her so incredible, was because of the simple fact that she wasn't like everybody else. You know, she wasn't what they were trying to fit the bill for at the time, and it made me really wonder, like, how did she ended up in the mold? But at the same time, she was like that breath of fresh air that you needed, you know, right at the moment. So, Beth Phoenix, like, I don't know what else I could really.
Yeah. Here's what I'll say about Beth. One, you got to remember, when her and Natty come in around that time, they are in that weird transition area of when the division changes. So Beth, give you a little background. She was helped when she was starting to do her training and stuff like that. One person who helped her career along was Molly Holly. So she's at that generation that's coming directly behind Molly Holly. And Molly Holly was in the Trish Stratus Lita era, right? So I think she has an expectation of what it's supposed to be, and the game totally flips up, right? Like, we are no longer women, we are divas. This is like the pillow fight era, you know what I mean? And she fights her way to, for lack of a better term, respectability in that. Everybody always took Beth Phoenix serious. And I thought as the Glamazon, she embraced being a different type of woman when the rest of the division was one way. Like, hey, I'm different, and that different doesn't make me less. If anything, it makes me better. And I thought that was a good thing for people. She left the game where she was in good hands.
Right.
She is no longer Beth Phoenix. She's Beth Copeland.
That's right.
You will know that last name Copeland as in her husband Adam Copeland, who you all know as Edge. They have a kid together. I think just one. I don't think they have two kids.
Two.
Oh, they have two.
It's two.
It's two.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I got two. Which I didn't know they was together until like after he retired. He was like, "Yeah, man. Well, you know, she helped take care of me, and she helped him really rehab from the neck surgery and stuff like that."
Well,
which she's also an RN. Yeah.
Right.
Because I think she passed her final exam. So yeah, Beth is like an RN now. So like that's what she's doing with herself.
That's awesome.
Yeah, gotta be great to see her again and see her get inducted. So this next person, Keisha, I'm gonna defer to you again because I'll give you my impressions after, but DDP.
Okay, so first of all, because I have to ask this question, how the hell did they get Eric Bischoff to induct DDP? Like, seriously? But anyway, so Diamond Dallas Page, right? I always get excited about him because when people talk about Diamond Dallas Page, I like to I dubbed him as like the comeback career. And I say that because like what many people don't know about Dallas is that he had like this whole 20-year career before he became a wrestler. Because Diamond was a manager. He managed various wrestlers before he was a wrestler. God, it's funny because I had a couple of them on the top of my head and I forgot who they were. I'll let you handle that, Keith. I'll let you handle that part. But he went into this weird transition in his career where he was like, people were coming to him like, hey, why don't you try wrestling? And he's just kind of like, dude, like, are you serious? But then he does. Diamond was 35 when he became a wrestler in WCW. There were actually people that were very skeptical about his career, didn't think he was going to make it, thought he was too old and he wasn't going to be able to hang and all that kind of stuff. But then he won world titles, and it was just kind of like, oh, never mind. So what a lot of people don't know, and it's funny to me because I found this out, I think I found this out watching something about him one day, but DDP yoga was developed at the time that he was a wrestler in order to help him cope with like the different pains of wrestling. So this didn't happen like after he stopped. Like this happened during that time. And like he got other wrestlers in on it, and even now, like of course now it's been revolutionized into something huge. Like I even thought about buying the DVDs, like because it has helped save lives, literally. So Diamond Dallas Page was someone that had a very his career can be described as explosive. Like I personally will use that term because of the different stuff that happened throughout the span of not only him being a wrestler, but when he was a manager and on down the line. I mean, come on, man. He got to wrestle with Garbalone and Dennis Rodman. Like, who can really say that they got to wrestle with Garbalone and Dennis Rodman? Like, I just want to know. Like, DDP, in itself has been able to me, I always applaud the way he's always been able to adapt. He's always been able to transition himself, not into just a different character, so to speak, a different role in general. I mean, it's incredible for a man to go from doing something for like 15, 20 years and then being on the other side. Because that's exactly what happened. He went from, I'm just going to get out here, I'm going to get on this mic, I'm going to be the mouthpiece, I'm going to be the flashy person that's going to be out there, I'm going to interrupt matches and this, that, and the third, to actually being it. He went from accompanying that person to being that person. And it takes a lot. It takes a lot at 35 to decide, like, hey, I'm going to do this, because wrestling, as Keith, is not easy. It's not easy to do. It ain't easy to actually accomplish. Like, it's a skill. And pro wrestling, I feel like he had half of it down already. He just had to get the rest, and he was excellent at it. It's funny because when I talk about DDP at times, I always bring up like during the Invasion storyline where him and Taker got into it, and he was doing the whole stalking thing. I was like, that was horrible. I hated that they did that to him. I really did, because I was like, come on, man, y'all can't destroy this man like that. But it was, he went on to kind of shape himself into the man he, like, really was. Like, and I say that, you know, inspirational speaker, you know, incredible person, funny guy, happy guy, Diamond Dallas Page. Like, and who, I don't know. I don't know about Eric Bischoff inducted him. I really am kind of on the fence about that. I mean, I get it, but still, like, really? I don't know.
Well, this is where I could inject, right? All right, this is the reason. One, they go back 30 years plus.
God, that's a lot.
When Eric Bischoff comes into the AWA as an announcer, well, you know, he does interviews and stuff like that. DDP is managing in the AWA. He was up in Minnesota working for Vern Gagne. They started off with Lil Rocky. They got into it a couple of times, but they were friends. Or became friends. And then they started working together in WCW. And, you know, they started doing announce work in WCW. He kind of helped Eric get his foot, rolling with that. And then when DDP wanted to transition to a wrestler and start moving along as a star, who was in charge at the time? Eric Bischoff. Right. So that's why, like, the Hall of Fame portion of his career as a wrestler, because even as a manager, he was a decent manager, but he wasn't ever. Even when he was managing the Freebirds, I don't think there was nothing that you could point to that's like Hall of Fame worthy, right? But like the crux of his Hall of Fame career is all Monday Night War era stuff. So, and then even post that, like, you know, some of the time he spent in WWE, but we're really talking about Monday Night War stuff. Like I said, the match with Karl Malone and Hogan, and the match with Jay Leno and Eric Bischoff, like, that stuff is major, major pop culture stuff. And all that is tied between him and Eric Bischoff. So I see why Bischoff is doing the induction. My overall view of DDP, I think the DDP yoga is an amazing thing. Like, when you cover his overall contributions to the business, DDP yoga is part of it. A lot of the wrestlers swear by it. Jericho swears by it. The fact that, hey man, he put in the work for Scott Hall and Jake the Snake to kind of help get them straight, right? Where we was able to induct them into a Hall of Fame. So, yeah, I'm with that for DDP. With that being said, Keisha, we're going to try to roll into our first break, and then we'll be back. From there, we got a lot more to do with news, birthdays. Try to get you caught up on some news that happened while we were out. And then it will be on to preview of NXT Takeover. Right now, there are only 5 matches on NXT Takeover for the preview. That being said, we probably expect more. I don't know who or what, but just expect more. But right now, we're going to hit the break, and we'll be back.
Get pressing before we see the world's strongest man in action. Let's hear these comments from the Skyscrapers.
Tomorrow night, it's where America said it couldn't be done. Well, I'm going to show America and I'm going to show the world that the Road Warriors are going to go down in defeat, and they're going to pack their bags and they're going to catch that interstate, whatever number it is, and head on back to Chicago and start picking up garbage or working for the city or doing whatever it takes to keep them eating, all right? Because Chicago street fight tomorrow night, Road Warriors, I'm going to make sure that your brains are beat in till your head looks like a can of sauerkraut. Tell them, Mark.
Road Warriors, we're going to stomp mud holes in you, and we're going to walk them dry, just like we did in Corpus Christi.
Yeah!
Tomorrow night, boys, you're going to fall like you ain't ever fell before, because the 90s belong to the Skyscrapers, and Theodore, brother, we're going to make you something proud.
Whoa!
Road Warriors, move aside, because the Scrapers are here, and we're here to stay.
Testify!
They're going down tomorrow night, believe me.
Yeah!
everybody? We are back. So yesterday was March 29th. That meant one Michael P.S. Hayes turned 58. Part of me, one, cannot believe Michael Hayes is only 58. But part of me also can't believe Michael Hayes. Michael said can't believe, but wow. Michael Hayes, still in the league. Know anything about Michael Hayes' past? Hey, man. Whew. The ones that survive. I mean, because, like, he got to be one of, like, wrestlers, Keith Richards kind of guys. You know what I mean? Like, Keith Richards is, like, 85 right now and still kicking it strong and hanging out. You like, damn, that dude that did every drug and he is still going strong.
How is it possible?
Right. You know how many people that died that he knew? Nope, not him. He's like, shit, man. Whew. What does it got to be like for you to go to somebody's funeral that like OD to be like, yo, I wonder if I still got that bump of coke left in the room.
I mean, that's just horrific. Like, and unfortunately, some people's realities.
Yeah, like people be like, get that vein up, like they're talking over, like, oh, you went to your homeboy funeral? Yeah, what you died? OD. All right, hand me that needle.
All right.
Okay.
Probably in a bathroom, taking a line real quick. Let me prepare myself for this. Like, dude, are you serious? Like, come on, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Crazy.
Nope.
Right?
Nope.
So I'm going down the line, Keish. Today is the 30th, right? Zach Gowen turns 34. You remember Zach Gowen?
Yes,
guy
I do.
with one leg wrestling.
Very vividly.
Really did not need to go there with it, but I did. Trent Beretta, Trinity Locks. One half of Roppongi Vice over in New Japan. You realize Trent Beretta only turned 30?
Oh, hey, we're the same age.
Yeah, like I don't know why I thought Trent Beretta like was old. Like, what was he on SmackDown? Like 2006, 7? Like, damn, his career must have took off early.
Yeah, he was young. Oh my God, we're the same age. That's awesome.
I'm just saying, shoot. But the number one birthday for today, March 30th, one, Mike Rotunda, who turns 59. Now, for you youngers, you like, who the hell is Mike Rotunda? I'll let you know who Mike Rotunda is. Mike Rotunda was a part of the original Varsity Club. They had Kevin Sullivan and Rick Steiner. Mike Rotunda was Captain Mike Rotunda. He is probably the first Identity Crisis wrestler. After he was Captain Mike Rotunda, walking around like a ship captain. After he did the amateur wrestling gimmick, which he was a legit amateur wrestler at the University of Syracuse. I don't want to get that. Or Syracuse University. Sorry. That would be a big difference. Mike Rotunda was Michael Wall Street in WCW. Like Wall Street gimmick. Well, he decided to leave Wall Street, come to the WWF, where he joined the IRS. Irwin R. Shyster. Where he formed one of the underrated great tag teams of all time, but he incorporated with one Ted DiBiase. Now, Mike, a long time ago, fell in love with a woman. She happened to be the sister of his tag team partner. No, I'm serious. In 1984, Mike was part of a tag team called the U.S. Express, who was very successful in WCW and in WWE. Won WWE titles, I think, at one point. His tag team partner was Hall of Famer, Barry Windham. Part of the greatest incarnation of Four Horsemen, as I've seen. So he fell in love with his sister, with Barry's sister. Barry was a second generation wrestler. His dad was Blackjack Mulligan. His brother Kendall wrestled, but Kendall was a really important part of the story. So Mike and Kate had some kids. You know who those kids are, Keish?
I do know who they are. Well, I know who two of them are.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the importance of this. They have a daughter. I don't know how many more kids they have after that, but the two important kids to me. Well, the daughter might be coming into the business. I haven't got a full confirmation on that. But the two that are important, you can let the world know.
That would be well, let's start with, that would be Bo Dallas and the current WWE heavyweight, world champion, Bray Wyatt. Hilarious in itself, because I didn't see the family resemblance at first until I really looked at the two together, and I was like, oh yeah, I see it now. Yeah, you could see it in the face. They got it all in the eyes and such. Like,
yeah, well, it's kind of weird. Like, I can't really make it with Bo. See, with Bray, I see all that Wyndham in him. Like, it's all so Wyndham. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you know, it's funny. So yeah, it's Mike Returner's birthday today. That family, man. I've heard rumors that they want to try to bring Bo Dallas into like a new Wyatt family.
What?
Yeah, that's what rumors are. But I don't know.
I don't know about that.
The funny thing is, they never could quite get Bo started right, and then with Bray, they never really let him fully shine.
Right.
Like, they would hold, like, his star was just too bright or something, and they would like make him lose and make him do. I mean, like, yo, y'all don't get it. People dig this dude, man.
At one point, they were treating him like a whole jobber act.
Yeah. Also,
him and the rest of the Wyatt family. Like, I was like, are you kidding me?
The meanest thing I've probably seen. Oh, Randy Orton's birthday is going to be April 1st, so that's the day before WrestleMania, which is Saturday. I need to leave that out. But yeah, let me go. I'll say this. I'm sorry when I said the two important ones, right? And I'm only sorry to say because that's mean, and that's acting like if Rotunda has some other kids, they don't really matter. You know what I mean? And that is cruel.
Awful, Keith.
That is cruel. That would be like me saying, yeah, let's talk about the kids that matter that my dad had. You know what I mean? Or my mom had. Like, oh yeah, like we, you know, like, hey, well, I talk to the ones that matter. You know what I mean? That would be mean. That would be mean.
That's evil as hell.
Yeah. And if somebody said that about my family, I'd be like, look, all of us matter, you fucking bastard.
Exactly. Bitch. Sorry, we had a moment though.
Yeah, no, I don't mind. So yeah, that's that. So let's get to the news, right? Keish, it's kind of funny because I wanted to talk about it last week, and now it's kind of flipped over a few times, and so much is weird. So last week, the hot rumor that wasn't nowhere near true is that the WWF was interested in buying ROH. None of it was true. Now,
none of it.
What I don't think none of it was true. I think some of it was true. I think they maybe were try to buy the tape library to use for the network. I don't think
that makes sense.
With every news story, man, the amount of research people do and stuff like that, where there's smoke, there's fire. Somebody went to like Sinclair offices and had a meeting, and it wasn't like just a casual. They had a meeting about something that was going to cost somebody some money. But that being said, so I didn't know the ROH contracts with the Hardys were short term. Matter of fact, it was reported that they were long term. And see, that's the thing too. This is what they could have been talking about. Far as I know right now, everybody is really putting the Hardys in the WWE. With Matt keeping the broken thing. And, yeah, so the Hardys to WWE is supposed to be, and I want to, if you see me, I'm doing air quotes, like, hey, supposed to be a done deal. Don't know how done it is. Don't know how good the goose has been cooked. But could you imagine after WrestleMania, Keish, you turn on that Raw where everybody's going freaking nuts? Also, the Hardys ROH contract ends April 1st. You know WrestleMania is April 2nd. Just put that out
That's
there.
right. Mm-hmm. Don't worry, I'll be watching. I'm already planning on watching, so I'll be watching, anticipating it. Oh my God, what's that music hit? I'm like, what the man? Seriously? But I'm not holding my breath and I'm not keeping my hopes up. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the show because
mind you,
that's what you got to do.
Hey, you want to have some fun and have some entertainment? Follow Remy Sky on Twitter because you never know what the fuck is about to happen. She been letting TNA have it, and she been going at Jeff Jarrett and some other it's getting ugly because TNA did some punk stuff with the Hardys and they tried to sue people and all this stuff, which ain't gonna work now. Man, petty. But yeah, so that's happening. Right. Let's go with my notes. And Mauro Ranallo will not be at WrestleMania, Keish.
What?
Yeah. So we've seen Mauro not be at SmackDown for the last couple of weeks. Apparently, he has some issues, personal issues that he's dealing with, and that is why he hasn't been. Now, what they are, I've heard things saying like, hey, it was depression and stuff like that. So who knows?
Apparently they do.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Apparently they do. But I mean, I didn't know. Of course, people have things going on in their personal lives we don't know about. So, can't really sit here and you're like, oh, well, you gotta let him be, Yeah. I think right now, the best thing to do is just let him have his space and let him get through the stuff that he needs to get through. And then, if he chooses to come back, let him come back.
Yeah.
But I have to honestly say I was looking forward to him commentating at WrestleMania this year. Because he brings a voice that's on a whole nother level. And I personally would have been thoroughly excited to see that, but so.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Mental health is a big thing, right? And it's something that I think we need to take serious. And we got to do a better job of it. We got to do a better job supporting people, and we got to do a better job of, kind of just trying to understand. Depression is a weird thing to try to describe to people. And I found people who don't experience depression don't really understand it when you try to explain it. But I could imagine when you go into a dark place sometime, just not being able to really come out and do anything, or you know what I mean? Because I mean, I don't know if I really ever talked about this, but I mean, it's something I deal with, right? And when you guys see lulls in the show where there's no any kind of production from anything or any product that I've done, or no freelance where I haven't done anything for anybody, more than likely, if you see that happen over a 2-week period or something, I'm in something. So, it's just hard to explain. And I don't know. There's not really a moment when I can tell you. Sometimes I don't even know what's happening until it's over. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I get to work every day because I can kind of autopilot that, but everything else just falls completely apart. And I just you know, about 2 weeks later, I'm like, oh wow, I think I was depressed. You know what I mean? Like, it really, I lose about 5 or 10 pounds during that time period. Like, it's just a whole thing. So my heart goes out tomorrow, and like I said, I hope, man, Godspeed, and you know, when he's ready, man, he'll be back. He'll be back stronger than ever. Did I depress the show too much, Keish?
No, I mean,
for lack of a better term.
No, not too much, not too much. If you all right. You know, you all right. I mean, the news brings stuff that, you know, no one really wants to talk about, but we got to put it out there, Keith. Got to put it out there. So, it is what it is.
All right. Well, see, this is why I can bring the show back up and have fun. Because, Keish, so this Rock and Vin Diesel thing, this is really a thing?
What Rock and Vin Diesel thing? What are you talking about?
Okay.
I was going to ask you that earlier.
Oh, yeah, because you just probably saw the note, so like, what the fuck is he talking about? Okay.
Right.
So here's the thing.
I was like, what is he talking about?
Apparently, during the film of The Fast 8, The Rock and Vin Diesel got into it. It's not even called Fast 8. It's called some kind of faster and faster shit. I don't know.
The Fate of the Furious.
Okay.
Trust and believe. It's hard to keep up with the fucking names of this shit.
Okay. Why? Who the fuck owns this shit? Or does it change every week? Because how the hell do y'all put together a series and y'all can't keep the titles straight? Like, you just... Okay, anyway.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So... Apparently, during the filming, it was a 100-day shoot here in Atlanta, and I did not get into fast. Also, I didn't get to meet The Rock, so a lot of things I feel bad about. But that's neither here nor there. So they're filming, and they do their last scene together, and Vin Diesel just been coming to work late and just been an asshole and da. And Rock had enough. Rock may have put out a message on the social media saying, hey, my female co-stars are so professional and always here on time, ready to work and ready to do this and prepared. The male co-stars, not so much. And if anybody took exception, maybe there was a shouting match between those two in The Rock's trailer. Also, I know Vin Diesel looks big like for a movie.
Right.
But I just feel like this is one of my problems with Fast Five, like the fifth movie, where like The Rock first comes into the series.
Yeah.
Like they have a fight scene with The Rock and Vin Diesel, and I'm like, first of all, I hate movie fight scenes because there's always some kind of element of disbelief that I can't dial into. like after the guy has killed like 47,000 people, and he makes it to like the guy in the suit and tie, who's the boss. And he has to struggle with him, knowing that like this guy's like 6'5" and 300. You know what I mean? And then like the little guy's like 5'8". You know what I mean? No. But
right.
You know, this was the same thing. It's Fast 5 or whatever it was. The Rock and Vin Diesel, I'm like, they wrote this to make me believe that Vin Diesel had a chance in the fight against The Rock. No. In real life. No. In real life, I don't even know me and Vin Diesel. You know what I mean? I'm kind of a big dude. I'm about 265. You know what I mean? It'd be a problem. You know what I mean? It'd be a problem.
Right. I'm
sitting around like LeVar Ball, like, yo, do something. No. But yeah, it's a thing. Like apparently, when they've been promoting the movie, they've kept them two separate. They don't speak during the promotional appearances. So, I don't know. Right, but yeah, it's apparently a thing. So I just went fun. I'm about to go bad again. If you've been living under a rock, Jim Ross lost his wife Jan like last week after a really really bad car accident, and yeah. So JR is dealing with it. He's still making appearances. He's in Orlando this weekend. He will be at the WrestleMania stuff that he's signed up for. And I don't even know how he's doing that much. No way I could be pulling it together like that. No way. But the man, I mean, he really he recorded a Ross report this week that I had to listen to. I don't even know if he put it out because I didn't get a notification of a new show. But I don't even know how he could have did that. Like, that's one of them. Like, wow, man. Because I sympathize with the situation, and I hope for the best and hope that he's just doing better every day, because it's going to be a long process.
Right.
So every day, man, he just got to try to get better. Triple H, it says Roman Reigns is already a heel. Kicks, I think he might have a point. Because the world wants to turn Roman Reigns heel. But he already get booed out the building, right? When he wins, he gets booed. Right? That's usually what happens to a heel. Like, it just be slightly less dysfunctional. You know what I mean? But, Keisha, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, just kind of thought I had lost it there.
No, I'm here.
All right.
I'm right along with you.
All right. So, to the final portion of this show, which, man, Keisha, I kind of said famous last words. I was like, hey, we're going to do this show, and it's going to be short.
Right.
Who the hell was I fooling?
Of course not, Keith.
No,
I mean,
but
come on, man.
I'm glad we decided to do 2 shows, because I don't know if people would have sat around for 4 hours of like one show.
Yeah.
But we just broke it up. Y'all get to take it and have it like a cookie 2 different days.
Right.
But
save the other half for tomorrow. Like,
it's time for Takeover. Music drop. Yo, when I start running Takeover, it seemed like it would be so much different when Brooklyn happened. Because I think it's different just because I associate it because it's Jay-Z and it's Brooklyn, so it really like resonates. But Takeover, it is what it is. Takeover, right? Little buddy ain't waiting for war. It's like bringing a knife to a gun fight. A pin to a test.
Really?
Don't step in the line of fire with that thin ass vest. Okay. You know, Blueprint's like my favorite album of all time, and I will.
Yeah, I know it. I know it.
Yeah. So here we are. NXT Takeover. These takeovers have been very, very, very successful. I think they've been the highlights of a lot of pay-per-views. This one I think promises to be no different. And this one might be the biggest one ever, Keish.
Right.
Or at least, just the biggest one today. And this is why. They've had more loaded lineups before, but this one is in Orlando, the home of the Performance Center. Like the backbone and basis for all of this, where all of it starts, is here. Right?
That's right.
And it's a milestone WrestleMania. It is a huge thing. It is WrestleMania 33. 30 years after the 1987 Classic that took place where, Keish?
The 1987 Classic?
Yes, WrestleMania 3.
Oh, Pontiac, Michigan.
I just like to hear it.
Why not? I mean, hello.
The original holder of the WrestleMania attendance record that did not get broken until last year. 29-year-old record. Fuck Jerry Jones. Right. Fuck him as a record label and a staff and a crew. But, I'm good. Keish, I'm good.
I know.
You know. Okay,
Take a
it's
deep
a
breath
sore
in.
spot that I need to write about because I've seen a few articles today about this being the 30th anniversary. Like today, like the actual date today, the 30th. Or no, I'm sorry, the 29th. Yesterday was the 29th. That was the anniversary of the epic WrestleMania 3 where Hogan slams Andre. And changes wrestling scope forever, right? Because that is the thing that drew the house. That is the thing that, like, mainstream media attached to. And, like, Bill Simmons is going to do a documentary on HBO about Andre the Giant. And basically, I think it will help you guys understand who are a little bit younger why that moment was so big and what Andre was in the 70s and into the 80s for pro wrestling, and how when Hogan came, it was just a passing of a torch, right? But Hogan, even though Andre wasn't the champ ever, you couldn't consider Hogan as the man in the business unless you had that situation breakdown. So
yeah,
that's huge. But yeah, this takeover is going to be massive because all the marbles are there. I'm sure every major investor in WWE, like, I mean, it's publicly traded. So, like, the top tier guys, I mean, the guys that got like millions tied up into this, they're all gonna be there. So we're gonna break down this card, Keish.
Okay.
Just with the 5 matches booked.
All right.
Then we'll come back and Andre Cien Almas will take on debuting Aleister Black. Probably be one of the first matches. Go.
All right. Excuse me. Sorry. Throat. Gotta give me a second. Okay. What were we talking about? Oh, God.
Okay. No worries.
I need to get my life back together. Give me a second here. Take over for a second, Key.
No, okay. So here's the thing.
I need it.
With,
I need it.
Well, CM Alum, who has had a few transitions since his debut, is going to take on Aleister Black. This is an easy match to call. You know why? Because Aleister Black is debuting, and everybody wins their first big debut. And CM Alum is the kind of guy who's known to lose a little bit. So this is going to be an easy transition. Aleister Black is going to take that match. Now the next match is the one I'm very, very interested in. Sanity is a four-way match. Not four-way match. I'm sorry, an 8-man tag with a little mixed tag because you got one woman on each team. Sanity, led by Eric Young, Showtime EY, aka Shark Boy, and his crew is taking on Ty Dillinger, Roderick Strong, Ruby Riott, and one of my favorites, Keish. And I don't know why people can't get on board. You don't mess with my guy. My dog don't mess with my guy. She don't. She thinks he's weird. But me, I think he's the greatest thing ever. And you know who that is, right?
I do know who that is. And as long as you don't play his music, we're good. That's all I'm saying.
What?
Anyway.
As long as I don't play the music, Keish, it is dropping like right now. Like, the only reason it's slowing up now is because an ad is playing. And I'm like, who the hell authorized this ad to come on? Like, I didn't authorize this ad, but hey. Yep, it's going down right now.
Just why?
You gotta feel it. Jose, go away. Jose, go away. Jose, go away.
Told him, you know what? After watching Breaking Ground, and seeing how like they get their characters developed and their names and stuff. I really wonder who the hell gave him No Way Jose and was like, make it work. Like, come on, man. Really?
But he works that shit. I'm going to tell you, the first time I saw it, I was like, I don't know what this is, but it's cool. Man, the second time, just now, I'm glad we don't do a video podcast, because that would have been like the moment of embarrassing me forever, that, you know, people would have been showing my grandkids on the YouTube or something.
That would be me.
Yes, apparently y'all have no chill in this family. I'm just gonna let that out there. Y'all bring up photos and I'm like, who has this? What? Just like there is a photo from the 83 World's Fair. Where was it in New Orleans? I can look that up. But it was early in my life.
It was before me.
Yeah. It is pre-Keish. It is BK before Keish. I don't even know if they still have the World's Fair. Oh, maybe they do. Okay, it was 1984. It was 1984 World's Fair. So that was 1984. I was a young man. And I don't even know how it all happened, because I don't really have memories from that time. And I met a little girl. And there was a kiss. And that photo circulated forever in my life.
That was at the World's Fair?
Yeah, 1984. Me and baby.
Man, I didn't know that.
Yeah, in New Orleans. Me and baby Marcus. A.T. Mary was living in New Orleans at the time. I think she was pregnant with Dominique. Dominique was not there. She was pregnant with Dominique, baby.
She had to be. Well, I don't know, because it depends on the month.
Yeah. I want to say a young Pierre was there. So, yeah, that's where we are with that. So, this is early in the queer grandkid game, where it's like, it was a boys club at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that picture has circulated throughout my life. It has been transported into digital. There is an unflattering picture of me and two of my brothers at my grandmother's house that seems to circulate around now. Like y'all don't have no tact. I'm just saying that.
If anybody want to see that picture, please go to my Facebook page. It's Keisha Nicole. It is in my cover.
Oh, man,
it is in my cover photo next to the picture of me and my sister that is highly unflattering.
I had some issues when I was a kid. I was skinny. I had a big head. Y'all just want to keep taking me back. But
hey man, we was some awesomely weird children. I'm just saying, like.
But yes, but back to this match. My man, No Way Jose, is leading this team, and I don't know what's gonna happen, right? But this is what I do know. You know how I said Aleister Black is gonna win because people who debut always win at Takeover, and
right.
Cena Lams always loses anyway. I can't pick a match that got Ty Dillinger and a team that got Ty Dillinger to win at a Takeover. When the hell has Ty Dillinger won a damn match? I'm sure he won some beginning, but man, the last few times I've seen him on TV, he be losing.
Yeah, he has been kind of just bombing. I mean, hard too. It's not even like a light match. Like, oh well, no. I mean, like he's been completely bombing. Like he's been like destroying himself in matches, and it's just been horrible. Like seriously, dude. Yeah. So I honestly can say that I wasn't picking him and his team to win this match either. Like I literally seen this in the notes, and it was like, yeah, Sanity next.
Yeah.
because I just felt like I was like, nah, I know Sanity got this. Like, this is it. So, I didn't even. It wasn't, and I'm gonna clear the air, okay? It's not that I don't like No Way Jose as a wrestler. I think it's freaking awesome as a wrestler. It's his music, man. I can't get with it. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't get
it. How do you? Okay, might be like me and the Bruno Mars thing, right? Everybody in the world loves Bruno Mars, and I can't stand him. And I don't know. Like, I know what I think when I listen to it. I'm like, oh man, this dude just copied all my favorite '80s people.
Right.
But that's why other people like him. They're like, yeah, that's the shit we want to hear, because we're tired of hearing that. I'm on that Molly. I'm on that Dro. All that need to know. I'm on that Molly. I'm on that perk.
But see,
it don't hurt. Okay.
I mean, I don't even listen to Bruno Mars. Like, I can't say if I do or don't like him because I never listened to his music. Like, I've never literally sat down and was like, okay, I'm going to listen to this Bruno Mars album. Like, I've never done that. So, I've heard songs here and there and bits and pieces, but actually literally sit down and listen, no, I've never done that.
Like,
I've never done that.
It made me feel like, damn, can I just be a hater? What the fuck? Because, like, Uptown Funk come on, and I'm like, y'all can have that. And then when he got sued, I was like, that's what you get. You do not steal from the Gap Band. You do not steal from Uncle Charlie Wilson. How dare you? So, yeah, I don't know. So, like, I'm thinking that might be you in No Way Jose. But, yeah. A cool-ass name. Because you have to say the whole thing. Like, you'll be like, yo, that dude Jose that wrestle. No, it's No Way Jose.
Like,
that's my man's stuff. No Way Jose. But yeah, Sanity's winning, right? Eric Young. The only thing I don't like with Sanity is that it seems kind of like a bootleg Wyatt family. But Eric Young is a great convincing cult leader, right? He's done it before. Like, him as a heel, like, leader of a group, he was a leader of World Elite when it was kind of like, hey, you not like, usually when there's like the man who's the leader, it's like, you ain't the man. But I'm happy to see him in NXT and doing his thing. But yeah, I think Sanity wins. There'll probably be a match or two in between before we get to this next one, which the next three are like they're the match of the night. Those are match of the night candidates. They are going to be the ones that, like, you like, wow, that's what made that better than anything I've ever seen.
That's right.
Right? So, the Authors of Pain defend their tag team titles in a triple threat against DIY and the Revival. I think they keep their belts because I think both of those teams are probably headed towards the main roster.
Yeah, I agree.
Even though, I mean, they might want to stay in NXT. Here's the thing. It depends on how the writing goes and how, if people want to take care of them. Because I think the Revival has so much, like, long-range potential.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's about time that DIY and the Revival, especially the Revival, I definitely think it's time that the Revival move on to the main roster. DIY is kind of, I'm a little on the fence about that one, but if they do, I wouldn't be surprised. So yeah, I think the Office of Pain will definitely keep the titles and, you know, continue on their time in NXT and for right now, because I mean they're not going to switch them over that fast. Like, it's just not going to happen.
Right.
But one of the other two teams is definitely going to make that transition after this. So I guess we'll see them. But then, and of course, DIY, both of them are cruiserweights. So it's not like they wouldn't be able to do it as singles competitors as opposed to a tag team.
Right.
That could be their way into that foot into the main roster too, because they're cruiserweights. So they definitely fit the bill for that in itself. But who's not to say that all four of them transition on as tag teams themselves, go to separate shows, and actually make that happen. Right. So, but yeah, I don't think they're going to take away the belts from Authors of Pain. Not right now, because they literally just got them, so it's not. They haven't really held the titles that long for them to really take them away from them anyway.
Well, like I said, I think Authors of Pain retain the titles. They got the manager, they got the size, and hey, they go like 3-time tag team champ. Like this guy. These guys I think are ready, so that they'll figure it out. Asuka defends her women's NXT title against Ember Moon. Asuka never lost so far.
Yeah, she hasn't. She hasn't lost at all.
Does she?
It is time.
Can she drop it to Ember Moon? Like, here's the thing. She could. Or she could, because I think Asuka's going to the main roster. Asuka may be in WrestleMania, like on the SmackDown brand. I don't know. But with that being said, I think she has a really legitimate shot at it. But Ember Moon has been phenomenal. So do you let Asuka end her NXT career undefeated, or do you give her a blemish like everybody else has ever been in NXT?
I give Asuka the chance, of course, to defend her title, right? But I don't let Asuka go on to the main roster with her title. I think Ember Moon is definitely the one person that can actually beat Asuka in the ring. Like, it's funny to say that because, in all honor, it's like in your mind, I'm going to give popular opinion. Popular opinion is no one can beat Asuka ever. Like, it's just never going to happen. But to me, I don't think that's true. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there's somebody that can beat her match, and I feel like Ember Moon is someone that can measure up to her abilities. It's funny because I think the same thing about Nikki Cross. So it's not that I don't think anybody can beat Asuka, because that would, if I said that, I don't think that would be true. All I'm saying is, I think Ember Moon would be the person that they would want to give the belt to right now in place of Asuka. But I feel like Asuka's just not going to lose this match. You know what I'm saying? She hasn't lost yet. And it doesn't mean that she can't lose or that she won't lose. Mm. It just means that as if we're going to go off of what the records show, right, she's winning this match. If we're going to go off of what I want to happen or what I believe can happen, Ember Moon is going to be our new women's NXT champion.
Right.
So that's my answer.
Well, I'm going to agree. I think Ember Moon's going to take this. And might be, like I said, 5-star match. Probably is going to be an epic. Next match, and the final match on this card, Bobby Roode, former TNA All-Star, former World Champion TNA, is an NXT title holder. Okay, from actual Tennessee. No, he's actual Canada. I don't even know where I came. I was thinking James Storm. No, this guy, Bobby Roode, is from Canada. Will be taking on in a rematch Shinsuke Nakamura, who he defeated to get the title. This is easy, man. Bobby Roode's going to win. Why? Because it's the rematch just solidifies him as a champ, and with that, it's time for Shinsuke Nakamura to move on to the main roster also. So,
I actually feel a little differently.
Go for it.
I think that this might be a back and forth situation like it was with Shinsuke and Samoa Joe, where it's like, I want a title, you want a title, you know? I think that Bobby will drop the belt to Nakamura, and then like they end up having a rematch at like the next Takeover or something like that. I think to me, I feel like this is going to be like a short, not a back and forth situation that's going to last like anything crazy like that. I just think this will be one of those back and forth situations where it's like, okay, I got the title, you hold the title, and then it's like, okay, it's over with. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to move Nakamura to the main roster per se, like right now. I think they should, but, what do I know? So I really think that Bobby Roode is going to end up losing the title at Takeover. But I don't think that it'll be for long, if that makes sense. So.
All right. But, yeah, I'm taking Bobby Roode to retain. And that's it for Takeover.
That is.
So we can wrap this up. I hope y'all had a good time. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Tomorrow night is WrestleMania, and we're going all about WrestleMania. We're doing history. We're talking our favorite WrestleManias. I'm going to tell you about WrestleMania 20, which I call the Forgotten WrestleMania, and why. And, kind of do it, killing his whole family. But anyway, we will be back stronger than ever. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got some predictions. If you bet on wrestling, don't come see me about it. I'm not guaranteeing you gambling results. So, Keish, part notes.
Please watch Takeover. I know that everybody gets excited about WrestleMania weekend, and actually people get excited about pay-per-views in general, and they don't really pay attention to Takeover, like to the Takeovers when they have them. But I would encourage everybody to please watch Takeover, because NXT is awesome in itself, and I think that they're going to put on an incredible show. This is going to be a Takeover like no other, because, of course, like Keith has stated earlier, it's going to be in Orlando, which is the home of NXT. So we definitely are going to be able to see it. Please listen to the show about WrestleMania that we will be recording tomorrow, because it is going to be awesome as well. WrestleMania is definitely one of my favorite times of the year. I actually had plans to go to this year's WrestleMania for like 5 years, and then decided not to for monetary reasons. But I definitely. It's funny because I don't feel anything for it. It's just kind of like, I'm just glad that I'm going to be able to watch it, because I'm going to be off work. I plan on getting like pizza, and I plan on like gorging out and sitting there and watching the whole thing. So if you're like me, you already have it planned out in your head how you're going to make this happen. And I just want everybody to have a great night. And, please, if you haven't seen wrestling this week, watch it. It's definitely some things that you definitely will want to. It's WrestleMania week, and it is the most exciting week in wrestling right now. And I can't wait to see what happens next, to tell the truth. I can't wait for WrestleMania. I'm like thoroughly excited about WrestleMania right now. And I'm going to tell, of course, tomorrow we get into what we are excited about, what we can't stand, what we don't want, and then what we are absolutely embracing. So, I think that's it. Thank you for listening to us. We really appreciate it.
Right.
We both think you're awesome.
Yeah. So, like I said, we'll be back tomorrow, and we'll be ready to rock and roll. Peace.
Bye.